quota recommendations deal here. All right. First, we'd like to thank Dr. Moldy for bringing a large box of donuts. Much appreciate it. 2 boxes. 2 boxes?
Yeah.
Hey, I got gypped with the second one. I missed that.
There.
2 boxes of donuts. Thanks, sir. All right. Let's see. We're going to go on with elk. If you give us an overview, then we'll go kind of go by hunt, and then we'll have public comment.
Well, overall, elk numbers are up. Population statewide, we're at estimated 13,500. And again, if you look at resident rifle, looking at about 11% increase in tag quotas statewide. But demand success, for example, muzzleloader, their success creates fewer tags, so they're kind of sucks. Muzzleloader hunts have been, success rates have been climbing 2-3% every year for the last few years, and using demand success, it reduces the tag quota. So again, you see that disparity of rifle tags going up because demand is either maintaining itself or increasing. Muzzleloader demand doesn't seem to be going much higher, but their success is going higher, so it's a double whammy for them. And same way with the archery, although it's not as severe, only a 3% decline. So that's, and as I stated in the pronghorn, and obviously the muzzleloader hunts for antelope, there was only 4 tag differential. I didn't really see that as a major problem. And the demand success, you have to have a place to start. And I don't know how many times I've said this ever since Mike Hess left this position. I'm not in love with the formula. I'm not in love with the process. But show me something better that can get us started on a playing field that's parity, apples to apples, amongst the weapon classes, to provide then the public and their opportunity to make some adjustments within reason. And so we're trying to follow the demand success, and as you see, it is a huge disparity. If I was a muzzleloader hunter, which I'm not, I'd be bummed out. But that's where to start. But we still have lots of muzzleloader hunters that are staying home. You know, the demand, even though it's obviously lower than rifle, the odds are still 6-to-1, 6 applicants per 1 tag. So if there's a recommendation for a slight adjustment, again, there's no sharp sword today for us. If you want to make that, that's fine with us. You know, a dead elk is a dead elk. We really don't care by which weapon class. So cow tags. Got a sizable increase in cow tags. Very sizable increase. And really, the only spot we're concerned about is because during the season setting meeting, the commission, you guys eliminated our historic early seasons in White Pine County that we've had for, I don't know, over probably 20 years. We're forced to put a lot of tags in the single season that was left, which was the late season, close to a month long in December. And I know there's been some concerns about that. We're with the two seasons, we can moderate the quota, split them up, and share that wealth instead of putting them all in one time frame. And these quotas, all of them are to achieve our population objectives for all the herds. So we would certainly, if you look at, for example, 111 through 112, under the 4181 cow antlerless elk hunt, which is on page 7, 442 tags. Probably would have been in the 200 range if it would have had an early season for it, but and the other double whammy of having only a late season, and we have a ton of historic data from Central Nevada and White Pine or Lincoln County, where we've had an October season and a December season for close to a decade or more. We know the success rates. For example, last year, the early season in the primary 231 unit group for cow elk was 42%, where the late season was 31%. We've always had about a 10 to 20% disparity in that late season. So that late season we know it won't be, the success won't be as high as we've had in the early seasons. So that 442 may have been less if it truly was success rates that we experienced in that October hunt, but we're assuming a 30 to 35% success based on our past experience with those late December hunts. Again, statewide, we're trying to stay at 10%, 90% split with resident, non-residents, and try to help me remind myself to check that prior to the final motion. If it seems like we've got a lot of motions on the resident side, we don't seem to have anything correcting the non-resident side, you may want to look at that. The only thing I can add is another human flaw in me is I had some total calculations that were off. If you go to page 9, the tag quotas are right. The computer was wrong. And the only reason the computer was wrong is I was wrong, because I tell it to do what it's supposed to do. So if you go to top of the page, the total, which is for the cow muzzleloader hunt, or excuse me, the non-resident bull 4251, the top of page 9, instead of 98 for the total, it actually is 104. It didn't include one of the cells in the summation. And the same way with the 5261, the total should be 11 instead of 9.
What page are you on?
Page 9. Page 9.
4261?
Yeah, it should be 11.
4256
Okay.
should be 11 instead of 9. And then the 4261 should be 18 instead of 14. Again, the individual unit group tags, the formula in the total is wrong. Okay.
All right, let's hear public comment, and then we'll bring back the commission and ask questions. And we did get quite a few recommendations. Imagine that on elk. Antlered, antlerless. Who's first? Come on up. You're number 1. Don't let anybody ever tell you different either.
This one might take a minute. Shane Boren, White Pine County Cab. I'll start out with the resident antlered, oh, by the way, our recommendations, we just presumed a 10% non-resident, 10% of the total, so we didn't get into the non-resident issue. On antlered hunt, 4151. We only had two small, we had a problem with 121. We know the elk numbers are increasing, that they're doing well. We just had a small problem with increasing the bull quota by 55%. We would rather take that over a period of time versus taking a 55% increase in bull tags. That was the reason for our quota recommendation of 24 instead of 28. Area 131, 132, and 108 early, the September bull hunt. I think most of you know that we were hoping to get that hunt switched and moved to another, that early hunt switched to move to another area this year and give that some rest. We have a great concern with the silver state tags, heritage tags, PIW tags, and this quota that you could possibly do damage. And I know the department hates to hear the trophy word, but to the trophy component of that unit. That was why our recommendation of 1 instead of 3. We were hoping that unit could be spared this year from an early hunt.
Which area?
That was area 102, 131, or 104.
108.
Let's see what, oh, sorry, 108, 131, and 132. Sorry, I'd switched the page.
Early.
Yeah, the area 13 early out rifle elk season. On to, let's see, the hunt 4181, the antlerless elk hunts. Our concern with 111, 112 is with the removal of the early cow hunt in October, we're worried about that big of a quota and what could happen if you ended up with a December snowfall like you had this year, except you ended up with it a week earlier in the middle of that hunt, and you ended up with 3 foot of snow on top of the shells, and then cows bailed into big cow numbers down low. And we're concerned about the level of kill that could possibly happen, and without data on this particular unit for that late hunt, that's why we're concerned about 111 and also 221 and 222, those 3 cow seasons. That's why we made the recommendations we made. 113, we bumped it up a little bit because we recognize the fact that the majority of cows that you're hunting in that unit are cows off the reservation that time of year, so we really have no problem. We're hunting reservation animals mostly, we're not hunting 113 cows.
All right, 113 reduced the quota?
No, we raised the quota in 113. We left it at last year's quota, sorry.
Oh, you're back to the other?
Yeah,
No.
what hunt? What hunt
We're
are you
still
talking-
on the same hunt. All these are cow hunts.
4181?
Because right now, you're saying 38, it's 39.
Missed it.
Should be, okay, it's probably misprinted
It's
in our
It's
thing here.
48. 48 was our
48,
recommendation.
Got it.
Here. These aren't the same
Yes.
as
I
last
had a
year.
question on that.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Page 7.
here we go. This is what we got.
And that's your area?
That's one of them, yeah.
It should stay the same as last year at 38.
Yeah, and last year was 48. Yeah, last year was 48. It's a misprint on your information here, because last year was 48, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It was just a, okay,
Just-
38.
yeah. So. Any questions?
Commissioner
Yes.
Vogler?
You are very familiar with Area 222. On those wintering elk herds, that's mostly just from the shelters, you think, or they're resident? Or if there is a big snow, are they migrating from even into Utah, or are they?
In 222?
Yeah.
In 222, it's pretty much a resident herd.
It's a
I mean,
resident
there's
herd.
there's some crossover, but it's pretty much a resident herd.
You're not having anything coming all the way down to Shell Creek if you get a heavy snow?
Actually, Hank, our experience is, and it's really amazing, is that we get a ton of snow in there, and you'll get out the spot and scope, and you'll find those things bedded down on the sunny side of the hill in the snow, and they haven't moved.
Yeah, it's resident.
Mr. Vice Chairman?
I had a question. How come on 108, 131, 132, you didn't want the
4151, okay.
4151? You weren't in favor of, you wanted to reduce the any weapon, yet when you go back to the hunt 4161 archery, you didn't want to reduce the archers in that area, and success rate is, a little bit different, but
The department's already recommended to reduce that area by 3,
104 to 108,
if I'm reading that right.
4161, it's 5 and 5.
You're talking about
For the archery.
Oh, for arch 104. Sorry, I was
You
looking at
didn't
108.
reduce the archery, but you want to reduce the rifle hunters?
Yes, I'm sorry. We may have overlooked the quota for Area 12 archery in our reductions. It's 5 tags. So if you reduced it, you reduced it by 1 tag.
We're reducing the rifle, but we wanted to keep several early rifle hunts because they're on demand. They make up the majority, and they wanted a couple of hunts early also, like the archery people do too, and that's the reason why we did that.
Yes, we understand your reasoning for doing it. We were just hoping that we could switch that hunt around to different units and not keep it in the same unit. We're worried about the trophy bull quality in that unit by keeping that hunt in the same unit year after year and adding in, you're adding in a possibility of 5, 6, 7, 8 different hunters coming into that besides these 3. That was our...
And I would add that, that the
Hold
total...
on. Mr. Macbeth, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Apologize.
No problem.
I believe that the total elk population is what, about 300 in there?
Yeah, I believe so.
No, and this is Grayson's area. They got a cap.
Cherry
on it.
Creeks?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And Grants.
It's close to 300, and I believe the TRT is 350.
Yeah. So.
No, it's substantially above. And I don't know, Ken Gray might be able to help me, or Larry, I don't know what the population objectives are, and, which mountain range you grab this from and that from. Is it just 121? How many animals are...
Are you...
No, I thought we were talking about 131 through 134.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 300-ish.
All right. Any further questions? Josh here? Not? Okay, go ahead. Commissioner
Shane.
Vogler? Or Shane?
You're saying
Shane, excuse me.
what you're afraid of is there's getting to be some decent bulls in there, and with the Silver State tags, the Heritage tags, and all those other tags, could really put some pressure on the older bulls.
Yes, that's exactly what we're worried about. We're, 2 years ago, the biggest bull in the state came out of that unit, and we're getting a trophy component in that unit, and we're worried about hurting that trophy component with all the add-on tags on top of the quota here.
Because now that you've taken that big a bull out of there, there's going to be some people showing up.
Yes.
And you're still under quota, Mr. Cox? Or under cap in that area?
13? Yeah. Ken says yes.
Oh,
I heard a yes
300.
from the back of the room.
All right. I think we're good for the public comment. Now's your time.
Glenn Copeland, Washoe County Advisory Board. Our cap on the resident elk antlered any legal weapon hunt 4151. It's hunt 161 through 164, 171 through 173, it really stuck out at us about this one tag. This hunt that's probably the most sought after elk hunt, or one of them in the whole state, that we've had for years of 10, 12 tags. We really couldn't understand why that was switched to one tag. Somebody,
And when you're
please-
done, let me,
Okay, so we felt that we should increase it with the way that the elk are doing in the state. They're doing great. It's a good hunt. We should keep a trophy hunt. There's not many trophy hunts in here anymore. That we recommended doing 7 tags. And if you look at the recommendations from some of the other counties, I just bring it up just for a second, is that like Churchill wanted to go back to the quote of 2010 for 12. Nye County wanted to go back to 4, and we said 7, which we split them both. So that's what we recommended there. And also, too, in regards to that same unit, there's 1 non-resident tag, too, where there was not last year. Something to think about there, too.
Mr. Cox?
so, my understanding of what happened with our recommendation of 1, which it doesn't seem right either, was we wanted to start to expose hunting to Area 17. We still don't have a population that we believe is over 75 animals in primarily the Toyabis. They're using the Shoshones a little bit. But our biologists suggested to, like we sometimes do when we're not quite sure, but we're going to allow some hunting, is we'll attach it to another unit group. So in our season setting process, we attached 171 through 173 with 161 through 164. And in our recommendations, we didn't have an early season established. So we didn't think that we'd have a hunt that would put pressure on this small Area 17 elk herd. But we'd still, if somebody wanted to go over there, they could. The season was set for that early rut hunt in late September for the rifle. And it includes both Area 16 and Area 17. And the biologist, knowing that season was changed, he was concerned that there was a lot of knowledge of a few big bulls in there, and that he recommended 1, and I guess we just forwarded it, and that's what you have. So it wasn't that we didn't have the bulls available in 16. We do. It was we had added that 17. In hindsight, maybe we should have just thrown 17 out as a separate standalone and had 111 tag.
Yeah.
And but then you got, and Shane was discussing, you got the Silver State, the PIW.
Right.
Who knows? They have a lot of choices, that's for sure. But that was the reason.
All right.